Good evening, race fans, and welcome to round number 20 of the Velocity Racing League Cup Series. We are here today at Virginia International Raceway for the Virginia 200. 38 laps that we will be completing here today. My name is Mason Heimbaugh with Team Goon Squad, bringing you the action here tonight. 1080p, 60 frames a second. As always, folks, I hope you all are excited and ready for the action here tonight after last week's race that we saw. Indianapolis Motor Speedway bringing us some quite interesting racing and some very competitive racing at that. Not quite shaking up the top 5 of the championship as far as I'm aware, but nonetheless, things are still getting heated up for the championship battle. Howie Briss still managing to keep himself in the lead. Again, the top 5 haven't changed here, so let's go ahead and take a look here at our point standings while drivers are getting down their first times here around the nearly just over 3.25 mile length road course that we have here for today. And again, I am a little impartial to these road courses. I enjoy being here for every single one of these. So getting right into it, Howie Briss still leading our championship with 2,813 points. Nicholas Lovell, 2,733 points, just 80 points behind the current leader, Howie Briss. Jaden Hopp with 2,690 points. Sean Williams with 2,672 points. And Tony Hilbrands rounding out our top 5 here with 2,641 points here today. And currently on our screen is the number 92 machine of Tony Hilbrands, currently working his way around the track. And I gotta say, I was watching these drivers a little bit before we got started here for tonight. And man, I gotta say, it definitely seems like this is going to be a rather tricky road course for these drivers. I mean, we got a lot of really flat turns, as well as a lot of, well, not a lot, but we got a few different parts of the track here where the elevation changes quite a bit. Here's a little good example of it. We're going downhill here, but there is another turn that I can't recall the number of off the top of my head, as this is going to be the first time that I've called a race here at Virginia International Raceway. So great to be here at VIR. A nice little chicane section that we have here as Tony works his way through there. And still we have yet for any of these drivers to put down a time here for today. Most of our drivers, a good handful of them at least, are just about to get to the halfway point here for their first lap here of their qualifying session here, as we're still watching along here with Tony Hilbrands doing a phenomenal job keeping this car nice and stable, making it look easy for the folks at home watching, for all of us watching behind our screens. It definitely takes a lot to keep these cars tame. Beautiful right-hand turn here. Tony Hilbrands making it look, again, like it is no problem whatsoever here. But, again, I was watching these drivers a little bit in practice, and it definitely is a little tricky in some spots, especially here. I think this is the turn that I'm thinking of right here. Yes, this downhill. Nope, wrong turn. Okay, I'm still getting myself familiar with the turns here, folks. Right here, this is where I think drivers are really going to get themselves a little quirked up here. This nice downhill chicane section, man, it's going to be interesting to see just how things shape up here for tonight's race as we continue to look around and see where the rest of the field is currently stacking themselves up. No one yet to put down a time here. Looks like Howie Briss just now coming across the line. There it is up on the left-hand side of your screen, a 156.96, so almost 2 minutes that it takes these drivers to make a full lap here around VIR. And again, 38 laps that we will be completing here for today's race, as Aaron, the number 70 machine, one of the drivers dominant here in the road courses here in the series, doing a phenomenal job in the season, having put away 6 wins to his name so far. Coming out here tonight, going to see what he can possibly do here. And Nicholas Lovell as well, the number 37, able to put himself into the top 3 in this qualifying session after also taking away a 3rd place podium last week at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. So Nicholas here is doing a phenomenal job trying to keep himself just up there competing with Howie Briss. I mean, right now, again, Nicholas Lovell, he is just 80 points behind the leader of Howie Briss. And now, so this is going to be a true challenge, I think. I mean, anytime that we take these cars, these ARCAs, to a road course, it's just always, there's always a little bit of uncertainty in there because these cars are just so, I don't want to say unpredictable, but they're not purpose-built for road course racing. And in that nature, it can be a little wild sometimes, but that's why I love it. I love this kind of unorthodox racing that we have here with these cars, with these tracks. It's just great to see. I love to see it. I'm all for it. But folks, for everyone tuning in, watching at home, getting joined up here as we are just about, I believe, getting ready to wrap up our qualifying session. I do believe it might have been extended by just a little bit here to accommodate for the length of the track. Normally it is a 5-minute qualifying. Today, I believe it might have been bumped up to a 10-minute qualifying. Again, 2 minutes to complete a lap around here as Nicholas Lovell, the 37 machine, getting a little bit sideways. That exact spot of the track that I was thinking some of these drivers were going to struggle with. Well, actually, not the exact spot, but another portion of the track. Those two spots right there are definitely going to be probably the toughest parts of this race here tonight. Jaden Hopp, currently 6th place here, going to be ripping around his last lap. Sean Williams, the 89 car here as well, going to be coming across the line here, it looks like, and I think that's going to be his last lap here around VIR. Indeed it is, as it comes down to a stop. That's going to put him up into 6th place, pushing Jaden Hopp down to that 7th place spot here. You can see the spread with these drivers, and now there's not a whole lot of drivers here tonight for this race, given that this is a road course. Not a whole lot of drivers in the Velocity Racing League are too fond of road course racing. I mean, there is a good handful of them that do enjoy it, but largely the consensus is they would prefer to race on an oval, and that's fair. You know what? Everyone's got to have their, their own likes and dislikes, especially in sim racing and racing in general. I just happen to really enjoy road course racing. So this will be an interesting experience here for myself, as, again, this is the first time that I've been here to VIR. And if you are joining us here in the broadcast, and if this is your first time, we can all enjoy this race here together as it unfolds. And I do believe there's just a couple minutes left here in our qualifying, but I think that might be waived here momentarily, possibly. I'm not quite too certain what they got going up there in the race control booth, but anyhow, we've still got James Coolbally, Jaden Hopp still out on track at this moment here, as James is looking like he's coming down to a, nope, he's just trying to make that turn nice and smooth. So yeah, this track here is going to be, ooh, look at this. Going into that downhill and just knowing that if you even so much as slightly lock up your brakes, or, oh man, it's so easy to get these cars sideways, especially when you're trying to get them to turn a direction that they don't normally want to turn. But I do believe that is going to be the end of all of our, there it is. Nope. Okay, never mind. That's just Jaden Hopp having some connectivity issues here today for the race, but still out there clicking laps, and at this point just taking advantage of the time still left before the checkered flag is flown here for the qualifying session, and we move on to our starting grid for tonight's race at Virginia International Raceway for the Virginia 200. Don Hilbrands, thank you for joining us once again. And everyone else who tunes in every single week, I really, really appreciate all of you that come in, support the channel, support the drivers, the league, so on and so forth. It's great to just see everyone come out and give their support for us sim racers. It's a really, really great thing to see. And if it wasn't for you guys, I don't think I would be here. So my thanks to you, and I hope you all are ready for the action here today, as looks like the warm-up is going to get that quick wave around here. And then we're going to go ahead and get right into our starting grid of the race here tonight. Starting off in first place, the number 70 machines from Satellite Racing, Aaron Smith, taking the lead here today with James Miller, the 09 car. Going to be taking second place, Howie Briss in third. Nicholas Lovell going to be in fourth place here. Benny Hogan in fifth. Sean Williams taking that sixth place spot. Jaden Hopp in seventh. Charles Jurek in eighth. James Coulibaly in ninth place. Tony Hilbrands in 10th. Rounding out our field here, Michael Ashmore starting off in 11th place. So only 11 drivers that are going to be out on track here. So I'm anticipating that a lot of this field here is going to see themselves get a little bit strung out pretty early on. Now, this could help a lot of drivers here be able to keep a clean, consistent race all the way until the end. But, on the other hand, it could also lead to a situation where everyone starts to get a little bored. Everyone gets, well, not everyone, but some drivers start to maybe get a little bored. They get a little careless, and they, maybe aren't paying attention, and all of a sudden they miss their braking zone by 50, 75 feet, and all of a sudden they're in the grass and heading straight for the wall. So, I mean, it's kind of a double-edged sword, if you will. On the one hand, you give your drivers a lot of space. They don't really got much to worry about. You give them too much space, you give them too much time alone, other things might happen that we necessarily don't want to see. But I think with the field that we have here, with how talented all these drivers are, I don't think we're going to see too much of that. But we're just going to have to wait and see. Again, this is the first time that I've been here at Virginia International Raceway at all in the iRacing service. So this is going to be kind of a learning experience for myself as far as how this race is going to go. And I mean, these are ARCA cars, so I mean, I can't exactly predict how it's going to unfold here right off the bat, but I can imagine that things are going to get spicy really, really fast, especially when you have James Miller, Howie Briss, Nicholas Lovell all stacked up here in our top five. We even see Benny Hogan there, that number 5 machine there, in 5th place, as well as Sean Williams kind of creeping back there as well. Just awaiting for our pace car to make its way back down, or safety car rather, back down into pit lane to get our race started here. Going to take a few more turns before we get there here in this moment. Again, just over a 3.25 mile track that we have here today, so it takes a little bit of time. Ooh, someone's off track. Nicholas Lovell. Oh, a couple drivers making it off track there. That is definitely a pretty tight turn there. Yeah, I can't imagine anyone's going to want to try and take that thing too wide. You're definitely going to get pushed off track there. That's going to be interesting. We're going to have to pay attention to that, see if anyone really is going to be put next to each other in that situation. I'm almost kind of predicting here that Aaron Smith, once he's out in clean air, once he's got himself at least a 5-second gap, it's going to be pretty tough to track him down. Again, this is my first time here at VIR, so I can't say exactly how easy it is to, catch back up, real drivers back in and try and be competitive. It seems like there are quite a few tricky turns that we have here, so I'm going to be keeping my eyes out and seeing how this is going to unfold, especially this turn right here, this downhill section going into the right-hander. And it might also just be the way the camera is. It looks a lot smoother the second time, but... And Joseph Penn, welcome to the VRL. Ooh, we're going green flag. I didn't even notice that we were coming out of the last turn, but here we go. All right, let's see what Aaron Smith is going to do on this first lap, first turn. Everyone's slowing nice. Very clean work here from the entire field here. Taking a look kind of towards the midsection here. There's a few drivers stacked up double wide, but it doesn't last very long. We see James Miller, Howie Briss here, going to be stacked up there for just a second. Still kind of door to door here, but Sean Williams getting a little bit of contact from someone. Might have been Jaden Hopp here. Let's see if we can get a little bit of a replay here. So here's Sean Williams. Oh, he taps himself. He gets himself into the rear end of Benny Hogan. That's enough to unsettle the 89 machine, and into the grass he goes. Yellow flag not being waved for this one, as it was a lone car incident. So we stay green flag racing here. Lap 1 of 38, as we just get over just about halfway into our first lap here at VIR around the oak tree. As Joseph Penn mentioned just a little bit ago in the broadcast chat. And yeah, definitely a very, very tight section to try and get any amount of cars through. If you're going too wide through there, it's going to be tricky, very tricky, probably impossible, even with, like you said, a stock car. So, but I'm already starting to see this field get pretty well single file here at this point. Okay, that's a little disorienting. We've got a few drivers already getting themselves off track here, as to be expected. Again, a few of these turns here are rather tight, and the braking zones going into them, trying to get these cars slowed down. It is probably a lot easier to mess it up than you think. Here as Nicholas Lovell, a little wide there, but keeping it nice and tight with Howie Briss here. The top four, consisting of Aaron Smith, James Miller, Howie Briss, Nicholas Lovell, all getting themselves away from the rest of the pack here. And really, Aaron Smith and James Miller are the ones starting to get themselves quite the distance between the rest of the field here. Between Howie Briss, James Miller is already up to about a second and a half. Looking a little bit further back behind them, Jaden Hopp and Benny Hogan. Jaden Hopp here actually tracking down Benny Hogan here for that 5th place spot. And man, let's actually ride on board here, because I am just extremely curious to see what it's like here for a lap on the inside of one of these cars here. Let's take a look for a lap on board here with Tony Hilbrands in the number 92 machine here. Great pass on the inside of Charles Jurek through around the oak tree. Great move there from Tony Hilbrands. Let's have a listen in and see what it's like here at Virginia International Raceway. Great driving here from Tony Hilbrands. Tony's also competing for the championship here, sitting in that 5th place spot here halfway through the season. Again, we're on race 20 of 36, I think is the number. Anyway, currently sitting in that 5th place spot, and with how close the championship is right now in points, just under 200 points for the top 5. I mean, that is just absolutely ridiculous. I'm excited to see how this whole season is going to play out here. But right now, this race is kind of playing out almost kind of how I predicted. You know, we're going to see some drivers get themselves fairly well spread out. Here's the track map down on the bottom right-hand side of your screen. You can see the numbers of most of your favorite drivers out on track right now. Aaron Smith all the way in the very front of the field right now, making his way down the long straightaway. With James Miller hot on his heels, and also Howie Briss, Nicholas Lovell just kind of trailing along behind them. So, in our fuel window here for today as well, this is where things get a little bit interesting. We have a 25-lap fuel window. So, drivers are probably going to have to come down into pits for tires before they really need fuel, because you are going to burn through these tires on tracks like this. I mean, depending on how aggressive the turns are and how fast you're going, I can only imagine when these guys are going. I mean, I'm sure that most of them are going to keep these cars out as long as they humanly possibly can. But I know that after a while, it's going to get rather difficult to keep these cars together and racing clean. So, with that in mind, I've kind of got to be wondering, you know, let's say lap 20 to lap 25 is probably a good window for these drivers. You know, be able to get out on a good amount of fuel, on a fresh set of tires. You probably setting yourself up pretty okay at that point, I would have to imagine. But we'll wait and see. We're only on lap 4 of 38. There's still a lot of racing left to go. So, and with just how this field is right now starting to get themselves, again, pretty well spread out. And with also knowing that we won't really see a caution come out unless there's an incident that basically blocks the racetrack or involves a significant amount of drivers, which at this point is almost seems impossible, but it can happen. It definitely can happen. Yeah, Don Hilbrand saying it makes you feel like you're on a roller coaster, and that's what I kind of mean. You know, with the elevation changes here at this racetrack, it is extremely, I want to say, disorienting when you are going through a track and you have these. The biggest examples that I can think of, Laguna Seca, I think I'm saying that right, and Bathurst, Mount Panorama. Those are probably the most extreme examples that I can think of. There's probably Mount Washington might be another good one for that. But anyway, point being, when you have those major dips and dives in the track where you're going uphill and all of a sudden it's downhill and left and right and up, it gets really, really crazy. And trying to find your line and be fast on those tracks, let me tell you, it is challenging. Especially where you're on a racetrack where you can't see the line going into a turn. You know, Laguna is probably one of the best examples of that, I'm sure. For all of you that are sim racers or have maybe raced the real life track, know exactly what turn I'm talking about. And it's wild. It's absolutely incredible. But anyway, I expect that that's what it is going to probably be a challenge for some drivers here. I don't think a lot of these guys are going to see that same struggle, but what I am starting to notice here right now is the time difference between a lot of these drivers. You know, we were looking at qualifying a little bit ago. Now, look at the left-hand side of your screen and you'll see just how much different the pace has gotten for every single one of these drivers. I mean, we're seeing times of 155, 158, 2 minutes, 2 minutes 4 seconds. I mean, there's also a few drivers here that have gotten off track. They've had to recorrect themselves and get themselves back onto the racetrack. So you can't really just say, oh, they're just going really slow. That's not always the case. Sometimes, you know, you have to sacrifice that time because you messed up and you have to fix it now. But point being here, that's just the kind of nature of these road courses that I kind of love. You know, albeit, I'd love to see more drivers here. You know, if any of the drivers at VRL are watching, you know, I know you guys might not like it. I'm just telling you, I'm pleading to you. Just give it a chance. Just give it a chance. I promise you, it'll be a great time. It'll be fun. It'll be the most fun you've ever had on iRacing. I'm only kidding. You guys do what you like. I can't force you to do anything, obviously. But I love to see the variety here in these iRacing leagues, especially with Velocity Racing League. It's probably the most fun thing that I look forward to in my week is broadcasting one of these road courses for pretty much any league. So, with all that jibber jabber done and out of the way here for a little bit, I want to see where our field is currently kind of stacking themselves up as far as position. Ooh, Benny, come on, buddy. That was a little close there. Tony Hilbrand's definitely going to take advantage of that slip up there from Benny Hogan. He got himself a little bit sideways. Man. Able to keep it together. And I mean, it was a good move there from Benny, letting the 92 on by. He knew he messed up, and he knew he was going to have to pay for it. But given that we only have 11 drivers here, I want to see where kind of, where drivers were this time last week at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Now, Aaron Smith obviously had won that race and did a phenomenal job of it as well. I mean, it was just incredible seeing Aaron Smith, able to pull off yet another win for the Velocity Racing League 2022 Cup Series. And right now, I mean, again, with his dominance, with his performance in the road courses throughout the season already, I am almost certain we're going to see that number 70 machine cross the line for the win possibly again here today. But I say that, and look at who's right on his tail. James Miller, the 09 machine, just absolutely doing all that he can. Oh, this is a great shot. Let's ride on the roof camera of the 09 of James Miller here for a minute and just kind of appreciate. Oh, man, this is just wild. And James Miller, he is just on the bleeding edge of trying to keep up here with Aaron Smith. He is doing everything that 09 has got in under that hood. He is giving it everything. And these are kind of the blind turns that I was talking about a little bit ago, folks. You can't really see the line going up a hill or down a hill. It gets a little nerve-wracking sometimes, but once you do it a few times, you wreck yourself in a sim a couple dozen times, then you figure it out and you get that line down the way you want it. Okay, that's enough of that. Okay. That was really cool. I was enjoying myself there for a moment, just watching James Miller just rip it around Virginia International Raceway. Great shot there. Great driving here from the 09 car. Just trying to keep this leader in check, man. He is doing everything. Ooh, a little bit of a blink job there from Aaron Smith. Nothing really coming of it, though. Here, let's hop up to the blimp camera for just a moment and kind of get a big picture of what's going on here at VIR. This may even give us a little bit of a broader picture of the racetrack and kind of just where everyone is kind of lining up at this moment, I suppose. And speaking of where drivers are lined up at this moment, you can see on the bottom right-hand side of your screen where all of your favorite drivers are by their car number. So, yeah, there you can see the two battles right there for just a moment on your screen as Aaron Smith and James Miller work their way out and around the oak tree. Now as Howie Briss and Nicholas Lovell do the same. Lovell here trying to keep it reel in Howie Briss. And now remember, folks, Howie Briss is leading this championship by 80 points. 80 points. And we've had Aaron Smith, who has been just working his way up in the point standings. Now, last week, he was able to bump himself up into 9th place. He's still got 655 points before he's anywhere near the top 5 or the top 3 for that matter. So, again, like he said in his interview last week, he's not exactly too confident that there will be any sort of run for the competition, or for the championship rather, but he is looking to just tack on to those wins and continue to have great success here in the Velocity Racing League, even with the possibility of a championship not really in the scope of Aaron Smith's goals here for this season. But Howie Briss, on the other hand, it is quite a different story, and Nicholas Lovell here as well. These two drivers both have been neck and neck, I feel, throughout this entire season. I mean, whether it's the ovals, whether it's the road courses, it always seems like these two are side by side or battling with one another at least once in a race. And really, I'm not too surprised to see these two kind of neck and neck-ish at this point here. Lap 9 of 38 here at VIR, as Nicholas Lovell, he just had a little bit of a slip-up a few turns ago, getting right up on the curb that time. But again, folks, it's extremely tough to keep these cars in check and keep them racing in a solid line here. Oh, man. So, with these two kind of battling it out this close to one another, it kind of makes me wonder, once pit strategies start to come into play, because they will come into play here at some point or another, I mean, we're going to have a lot of drivers here that are not going to have any idea hardly, unless they have a pit crew. Oh, James Miller. Oh, this is a big wreck, too, for James Miller, the 09 car. Oh, no. We're going to have to get a replay here. There might even possibly be a caution throw. Nope, he's close enough to pit lane. He's going to make that one out alive. All right, so he actually wrecked a little bit earlier than this, possibly, or unless this might be an iRacing glitch here. We're going to roll with it. I'm going to assume that this is an iRacing glitch. So ignore that front left tire, because I think it hasn't happened yet. Okay, no, actually, it did happen a little bit earlier than that. All right, we got to do a little investigating here, folks, because I am bewildered by this. What did he hit? Oh, yep. Okay, I had a feeling as soon as we approached that. So here we go. Into the grass and hits the tire wall. And that's going to be enough to set loose that front left tire. He is going to have to bring that car into pit road and get that car repaired. Now, folks, if you'll remember from last week's race, we had a couple drivers that decided to have their cars towed back to pit lane, and that was because of a caution, I believe. Actually, no, it was not the cause of a caution, but it was the cause of some drivers getting a black flag for that race and being disqualified for the remainder of that race because their car was damaged enough that they needed to be brought back to pit road with assistance. Very unfortunate to see that happen. I mean, as a driver, you don't want to ever have to see that black flag come out and be pointed in your direction. That's, kind of like being scolded, kind of like being told by your parents when they're mad at you, like, I'm not mad, I'm disappointed kind of deal. It's kind of like that sort of situation. You feel bad, you know. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. I don't know. Anyway. James M. Racing saying that's unfortunate. Lol, too much send. Yep, James Miller definitely gave that one a little bit too much spice going into the turn there at the Oak Tree. Just trying to keep that 70 car of Aaron Smith as close as he can. I mean, that's the cost of racing hard sometimes, folks. I mean, when you're trying to maintain that pace and keep a car that, you know, half a second to a second in front of you, it's challenging, especially when you're cooking off tires as quickly as some of these drivers might be. I can only imagine. Again, I've never turned a lap here at VIR. Oh, Jaden Hopp there goes off track though, trying to keep behind the 22 machine of James Coulibaly. So there you can see on the left-hand side of your screen all the drivers' current gaps between each other here on lap 12 of 38. And so far, a lot of this, I mean, a good chunk of this field is practically by themselves. We've got the 97 and the 37 of Howie Briss, Nicholas Lovell. They're both still duking it outside by, I mean, well, not side. Oh, right. No. Come on, Lovell. Keep it together, buddy. Oh, man. I think Nicholas, he was watching a little bit too much Tokyo Drift before. There he goes again. There he goes again. Oh, man. I think Nicholas has got to go back to Han's garage and get a couple more lessons before he's ready to get back out on track here. I'm only kidding, Nicholas. If you're watching this, don't be mad at me. I'm just kidding. And it looks like the 81 machine, Jaden Hopp, is going to make his way down into pit lane here. Excuse me. The 81 machine, I don't think there's any damage to that car. It doesn't appear to be any damage. But it could just be that Jaden not too satisfied with how the car is handling here at this point in the race and just wants to get on a fresh set of tires. Maybe there is something wrong with the car that we're just not seeing up here. It looks... Nope, he's already out of pit road, so it doesn't seem like there was anything major wrong with the car, if anything at all. So it does look like James Miller, the 09 machine, has... I don't know if he's going to be coming back out onto track anytime soon, as that front end was pretty banged up when he made his way down into pit lane. So I'm not exactly 100% certain that we're going to see the 09 machine back out on track here, as he's been down there for just over 5.5 minutes now. And there's no sign right now that it looks like the 09 is going to be back out on track here anytime soon. So for, you know, Aaron Smith, that's got to be probably a sigh of relief for the 70 car. I mean, having that 09 behind you just turn after turn, lap after lap is got to be a little exhausting at some point. Ooh. Come on, Lovell. Keep it together, buddy. Every single one of these drivers here tonight is doing an incredible job of keeping this race green and clean. I mean, I'm not going to call out any drivers, but I definitely do see all of the drivers getting themselves off track and getting themselves a little bit mixed up here and there, as we see Tony Hilbrands doing just that. It's a little bit tough to catch everyone and everything that's happening. Normally we would have a second view that we were able to kind of utilize, but that is not available here today, unfortunately. Hopefully we'll have that for us. Actually, no. As I just remind myself of that, so next week when we head to the stand by. So we're heading to the Monster Mile. Well, we're heading to Dover for the Monster Mile 200 next week, Monday. Normally, I would be the one doing the broadcast, but there is a exception for next week as I will be moving into my new place. So therefore, my good friend, esteemed colleague, James East, the owner, founder of Team Goon Squad, will be broadcasting the event for next week's race, July 18th, for the Monster Mile 200. So make sure you guys are subscribed for that and get yourselves ready for more fantastic oval racing here with Velocity Racing League, and as well as give James East an opportunity to call the action here for VRL, as again, one of my favorite hybrid leagues, I should say, to call for in the week, as Tony Hilbrand's coming down into pit road here rather early. It's only lap 13 right now, and we are seeing Tony Hilbrand's come down here. I'm going to assume that's probably because of tires, and I pretty much expected that to be the case here. Drivers are going to be eating through those tires very, very quickly. You know, taking these cars to any road course, they're not going to last very long on these tires. These cars are just not set up for those right-hand turns. Just doesn't end very well. So, Tony Hilbrand's there, a very quick stop, making his way back out onto the racetrack. Puts him in 7th place right now, but again, once the rest of the field kind of shuffles their way through pit road, Aaron Smith, I mean, practically the entire field still has to make their way through pit road. The only couple drivers that we've seen, Jaden Hopp, Michael Ashmore, and Tony Hilbrand's now, obviously, who just saw himself come through. As we're watching Howie Briss, Nicholas Lovell still duking it out here for that 2nd place spot. As we've got 24 laps left to go, as indicated on the top left-hand side of our screen here in the top timing tower. Nicholas, man, you are sending it here, buddy. Woo! Oh, man, look at how loose this car is. Nicholas just casually driving a death machine around VIR with the number 37 slapped on it. Oh, man. But Nicholas is doing an impressive job. He's looking like... Oh, man. I could watch this all race. But I don't want to give any pressure to Nicholas Lovell. I don't know if he's watching the race, watching the broadcast while he's racing. I hope not. I certainly hope not. I don't want to jinx him. But we're going to take a quick moment. We're going to take a commercial break here, folks. Let ourselves wet our whistles here in the booth, and as well as grab a snack. Do what you got to do. You can go to the bathroom, all that good stuff. And when we come back, we will have more of the Virginia 200 live here at virtual Virginia International Raceway. My name is Mason Heimball. Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere, and we'll be back for more iRacing right here on Team Goon Squad. Welcome back, race fans. We are here at VIR, Virginia International Raceway, for the Virginia 200 with the Velocity Racing League for the 2022 Cup Series. 23 laps left to go in this 38-lap race. Aaron Smith, Howie Briss, Nicholas Lovell, all in our top three here, and all of the field has found themselves spread out to a point where everyone's got at least a second of a gap between themselves and the driver ahead or behind them. As still waiting on majority of our field here to start their first pit stop here for the race. I'm assuming that Aaron Smith, these top three, they're going to have to come in here before too long, I'd have to imagine. Could also just be that, the guys that came in early might be possibly trying to play an undercut strategy here. There's a few different games that could be happening here as, look at this, Nicholas Lovell. Almost right on cue. He is going to come down into pit road, the 37 machine. Nice and smooth on the entry there as well. And he's going to calmly work his way into his pit stall and get those tires changed out. But that's going to put him down just a few spots. But with how spread out this field is, I can't imagine that it's going to be much, if at all, as Benny Hogan is now put himself into third place. But again, amongst the drivers that still have yet to come down into pit lane, there it goes. A little bit into the grass there, keeping it together. These chicanes, man, anytime we go to a road course and there's any sort of chicane in it, these cars they look like, it looks like a jet boat on water. They just kind of glide through it. They don't really, it looks funny, is what I'm trying to get at here, but it's awesome. Benny Hogan, the number 5 machine, after getting himself up into third place. Nicholas Lovell coming down into that pit road to get himself on a fresher set of tires, as well as topped off on fuel with 21 laps left to go here, as we see James Coulibaly, the 22 machine, making his way down into pit lane now. So right now, out of the rest of the field, we have Aaron Smith, Howie Briss, Benny Hogan, Charles Jurek, and Sean Williams that all have yet to come down into pit lane and, well, not necessarily start, but complete their first pit stop here for today's race. And I'm kind of surprised. Ooh, whoa. Right as I turned away from Michael Ashmore here, and the number 98 gets himself a little bit onto the grass there. There, as you see Aaron Smith, the leader, just behind him. He is quickly charging his way up to the 98 of Michael Ashmore here. Aaron Smith doing a phenomenal job in this race here today. I'm still curious to see when Aaron's going to decide to come down into pit lane. I mean, it's lap 17 right now, and there is seemingly no indication yet that Aaron Smith is ready to come into pit lane. I mean, it doesn't even really look like he's hardly struggling with this car yet. Let's actually ride on board with the roof camera here for just a little bit. I just want to see a lap or two. Here, he's going to make that pass around pit lane. He's not going to do it this time. But just watch the control, listen to the throttle. Very, very methodical, very precise. And the big thing that you have to do with these cars is you have to slow them down early, and I mean early. You cannot take these cars into turns like they're even GT cars. I mean, you can go a little bit faster into turns with GT cars than you can with these things. These things are like boats trying to slow them down. Nice, wide entry going through Oak. That was beautiful. Great job here from Aaron Smith. Showing everyone how it's done here at Virginia International Raceway. Almost said Speedway there for a second. That wouldn't have been right. Sean Williams, he's actually making his way down into pit road here. And I mean, look at these two. They're still duking it out. And somehow Nicholas Lovell, well, okay, no, that makes sense. Nicholas Lovell, he is now in front of Howie Briss after Howie came in just 2 laps later than Nicholas Lovell. And here goes Aaron Smith. He's down into pit lane now. He's going to get himself on a fresh set of tires. Let's see. Benny Hogan, woo! A slide job through Oak Tree. Very good work there from Benny Hogan. 19 laps left to go here. Still a lot of racing left. But still also a lot of uncertainty as far as how this is going to play out here. I mean, frankly, for this whole field. Ooh. Charles Jurek a little bit too wide there on the exit. Tony Hilbrand's able to take advantage of that on the inside, pushing himself up into 5th place now. So 19 laps left to go. As we are just about to the halfway point. Actually, I do believe this is the halfway point. Here as Charles Jurek, the number 76 machine, also going to be coming down into the pits. The only driver left is Benny Hogan, the number 5. And after the couple of slides that we just saw out of Benny Hogan just a little bit ago, I'm almost certain that he is definitely going to be wanting to come down and get in those fresh set of tires. And I mean, it's honestly impressive how long a lot of these guys have been able to keep out on those same sets. Seems to be that a lot of these drivers want to make this a one-stop race, if at all possible. I think that a lot of these guys, some of these guys might be able to pull it off here. Aaron Smith, Benny Hogan, Howie Briss, Charles Jurek, Sean Williams, James Coulibaly, all of these drivers here I think might have the ability here to make this a one-stop race possibly. So here, we're going to ride on the inside of Howie Briss here for just a little bit. And let's enjoy some more of the sights and sounds here at VIR as we watch both Howie... Oh, whoa, whoa, right as I say that. Nicholas Lovell off track into the grass. That's going to force him back into 4th place after, man... These two have been fighting just lap after lap after lap. And now all of a sudden, there's a 5-second gap separating these two drivers. And I said it at the beginning of the broadcast that, you know, I wasn't exactly too certain how difficult or easy it would be to try and catch up the field. or catch up a driver ahead of you or behind you or what have you. And I think the consensus right now is it's not easy at all. So right now, as things are currently looking, you know, with 17 laps left to go, and the majority of our field, well, the entirety of our field having cycled through pit road, at this point, it's all just a matter of consistency. How well are you able to consecutively click off laps and manage your tires? I mean, Aaron Smith was able to come in lap 19, as well as Charles Jurek. Sean Williams, lap 18, as well as Howie Brisson, lap 18. I mean, those four drivers right there, without a doubt, should be able to make it all the way until the end of the race, on this current set of fuel and tires. Here as we see Jaden Hopp, 8th place right now, going to be put down a lap here as the leader. Aaron Smith makes that pass around him. Down that back straightaway. Now they're making their way through the final couple turns here before they reach that short straightaway here to the checkered line, or the white line rather. So last week we had Aaron Smith, Sean Williams, Nicholas Lovell all in the top three here. And I got to say right now, it doesn't look like a whole lot has changed as far as the podium is concerned, except with the exception of Howie Briss, who's taken the place of Sean Williams in that second place spot. But there's also still 16 laps left to go. It's a long 16 laps that we have left, and anything can happen in that time frame. So, I mean, I wouldn't exactly say that this field is how it's going to be once the checkered flag is flown, but I can probably safely assume that it's going to be pretty close. While we have a little bit of time, a little bit of a lull, let's ride on board here with Charles Jurek and have a little bit of a lap around here with the 76 machine. around Virginia International Raceway. Great driving here from Charles Jurek. Here is, we're seeing a little bit of a stacked up pack here of mixed match drivers here. We've got Tony Hilbrand's in that 4th place spot. We've also got Benny Hogan in 5th place, who's right behind the 09 machine, of James Miller, who actually, surprisingly, has made his way back out on track. I failed to even notice that. I apologize for that, James, but James has made his way back out on track, and unfortunately, you know, being put all the way down at the back tail end of the field here, I mean, he's pretty much just racing to complete the race now at this point. There's not a whole lot that he's going to be able to do here. And for Benny Hogan, there he goes. James Miller letting the lead drivers on by here. Great sportsmanship out of the field. Letting the other drivers have their race and not trying to put their nose in it. Woo! Big hop there from Benny Hogan. That's going to send him. Oh, man. It's going to be enough to send him a little bit into the grass there, but he does a great job keeping it on the track. As it seems like our software has decided to take a nap on us. So we're going to go ahead and fix that real smooth like. And we will go ahead and get that back up here momentarily. So as we're on lap 25, just about 13 laps left to go here in this race. And Aaron Smith, I mean, just absolutely crushing this lead that he has here today. So as we await our overlays to update themselves here, give themselves a little bit of a refresh job, it might take a minute. We're going to go ahead and just call the action as we see it. Again, I mean, not a whole lot here is going to be happening at this point in the race. It looks like Michael Ashmore is going to take some time here to come down into pit lane. Here once again. There we go. I apologize for that, folks. That was a little annoying. Anyway, 12 laps left to go here in today's race for the Virginia 200, the Velocity Racing League 2022 Cup Series. Aaron Smith, Howie Briss, Nicholas Lovell, all our top three at this moment, and not much has changed between these drivers here at this point. Nicholas Lovell, after getting himself a little bit unsettled, he was duking it out there with Howie Briss for quite some time. And after that little bit of a mistake, he's now found himself with almost 10 seconds of a gap separating himself and Howie Briss at this time. But his pace right now is showing that he's slowly chipping away at that gap right now. So I don't think it'll be too long. Maybe. With 11 laps left to go, there is a slight I don't know, maybe. A very, very slight chance that we'll see a battle for second place unfolding here. But as far as Aaron Smith is concerned, with almost a minute separating himself in second place, I don't think he has got anything to worry about here at this point in the race. So great work here for Aaron Smith tonight. He's going to be looking to add on to his wins here, as well as, I mean, really just add on to his streak. So the last time Aaron Smith had a race win streak going started at Talladega. Then he won Milwaukee, then Chicagoland, and after that, the next streak that he started here was at the Texas Oval, and then at Indianapolis, and now possibly here at VIR. So he's looking at possibly having a two-time three race win streak here with Velocity Racing League. I mean, that is just absolutely incredible here. Aaron Smith, I mean, I know at the beginning of the season he said that he wasn't really looking to compete all that often from what I remember, and here he is now, only 9th place in the point standings, but just clicking off wins like it's nothing. Just fantastic to see, the level of competition that these drivers bring to the table. Here's Tony Hilbrands is just flying around track. And actually, you know what? Let's ride on board here for just a little bit and have a lap with Tony and see how he's doing here in the 92 machine. absolutely locked in here. Really, really good work here from Tony Hilbrand. I mean, he is just flying here with 10 laps left to go. This 92 car is just a freight train. With turbine engines attached to it. I mean, he is just a rocket right now at this point in the race. Well, that's not to say that, you know, a lot of this other field hasn't been the same. We've seen a lot of drivers here just pushing the limits here at VIR, just trying to get every 10th of a second that they can out of every turn. And you know, again, folks, it's tough. It is absolutely tough, especially here in these ARCAs. It's not an easy feat. Michael Ashmore here, the 98 car, coming down into pits quite often here, it seems like. I'm not sure if he's having some troubles with his car tonight or what's going on there, but Michael playing it relatively safe here tonight, it seems. Oh, Tony. Woo-wee! I am almost certain that Tony was pure white knuckle there for just a second. That was extremely close to going off track and into the grass there. And I mean, once you're in that grass, the iRacing service, a lot of, okay, it's kind of I don't want to say 50-50, but I want to say it's kind of you either love it or you hate it kind of situation. Most of the consensus, I feel, is that the grass in iRacing can be more than unforgiving, I think is the term that I would like to use in that statement. You know, in real life, you'll see drivers get in the grass a little bit, and it's a little nerve-wracking, but here in the iRacing service, it can seem like you touch a single blade of grass and you're going sideways. So, you know, again, it's one of those things, you either love it or you hate it. You might like it because it gives you a lot more discipline. Whoa, the 92 machine right there. Let's back that up. That's a perfect example of what exactly I'm just talking about here. He didn't even touch the grass there, I don't think. No, he didn't. He just got a little hot on the throttle. And that was enough to bring the car sideways, but not really much going to come from... I mean, well, he's going to have to sacrifice a position, it looks like, to Benny Hogan. There as Michael Ashmore, you see just behind them, he gets himself off track there also. So with 8 laps left to go, oh man, Yeah, you see a lot of these drivers just trying to be as careful as they possibly can to not go beyond the track limits and get into the grass, because like I just mentioned a little bit ago, the grass in iRacing can be extremely unforgiving. Right there. Definitely one of those moments as a sim racer where you are just like, oh no, this is going to go one of two ways. And I can't tell you, folks, how many times I've been in a sim race and, you know, you start to go into a spin and you think to yourself, I got this. I'll be fine. And it only takes a split second later and you realize you don't got this. You're not fine. Been there, done that plenty of times. But it does help you learn. That is how you learn, is from mistakes. And a lot of these drivers here, I'm more than certain, have made there plenty of mistakes here in their careers as sim racers. I mean, all of them just doing an incredible job here in this race tonight. I mean, you know, again, a lot of drivers that we're not seeing on our screen, you know, because we can't catch it as it happens sometimes. But, you know, they're drivers that are getting themselves off track a little bit, getting a little loose here and there. But otherwise, I mean, we've still got, looks like 10 out of the 11 cars that we had starting today's race still out on track. So great to see that here with only 7 laps left to go. I mean, a field of drivers that are all committed to getting to the checkered line, or the checkered flag, rather. And just trying to put on the best race that they possibly can here. But here, interestingly enough, Nicholas Lovell, he has been dwindling. Actually, you know what? Now that I think about it, no, he hasn't. That is definitely a longer time than when we last checked in here. So I take that back. Nicholas Lovell here, not exactly tracking down Howie Briss the way that I was expecting him to, possibly. I mean, but here just keeping himself in that third place spot. And with Benny Hogan just 20 seconds roughly behind Nicholas Lovell. I mean, all it takes is for Lovell to make one mistake, and it's practically game over at that point for a podium. Now, I mean, in the case of the championship right now, the battle between Howie Briss and Nicholas Lovell for that first place spot, it's still going to be Howie Briss, but Lovell is still going to be right there, hot on the heels for that championship. And I mean, oh man, I'm just really, really curious to see how that points battle is going to play out, especially as we get closer and closer to the end of the season. We're going to take some time here. Let's have a lap or two with Howie Briss in the 97 machine. Let's see how the championship leader handles a track like VIR. can just hear, just barely, the squeal of the tires as Howie Briss there trying to get that car slowed down for these turns. And I mean, it's just little things like that that add up over time for a driver's race. I mean, affecting your tire wear, affecting, I mean, fuel not necessarily, but tire wear, a big thing in a road course race where, you know, if you're burning off your rubber 2 laps quicker than the guy ahead of you, it's not gonna end well for you. But in situations like this race, where, you know, we have a lot of drivers that are all talented on the ovals, but when we take them to a road course, things get a little bit different. You know, not every single one of these drivers is all going to have the same talent or skill on a road course. These are tough challenges, a tough challenge for these drivers here. You know, taking these ARCAs to tracks like VIR, it's a real test of their skill. The last time that we were at a road course, it was Road America, and Aaron Smith, believe it or not, took away the win for that one as well. So again, with Aaron Smith being the driver, being the most proficient here, it seems, on these road courses, you know, it's not really all that surprising to see Aaron Smith performing as well as he is. The next time that we'll be at a road course here as well for the Velocity Racing League Cup Series will be at Watkins Glen on August 8th. So I'm sure that will be an interesting race as well. I'm not exactly certain what setup or what race, what configuration of the track that we'll be using. Ooh, Miller. Little off track here right before the oak tree. Oh, woo! Oh, man. That could have ended a lot differently for both James Miller and Tony Hilbrands. Tony Hilbrands, bear in mind, is also in 5th place here. James Miller at the tail end of the field after suffering that incident going into the oak tree turn and colliding his front left tire into the tire wall. Is back out on track here. He's down a number of laps here as well. So, you know, James Miller just looking to complete his race here. But that was definitely a close call for both drivers. Here with only 3 laps left to go. Oh, whoa. Looked like James was trying to get out of the way of Tony Hilbrands there. Might have been a little bit of confusion there or something. Oh, man. Yeah, Michael Ashmore not having his best race here today. That 98 machine just trying everything that he can to keep out on track here. And here as Aaron Smith is going to work his way through the final few turns, Once he comes out onto that short straightaway to the white line, that will bring us the final lap here at Virginia International Raceway. The final lap is upon us now. Aaron Smith, Howie Briss, Nicholas Lovell all still in the lead, or in the top three here. Here as we see Charles Jurek a little bit off track here in the number 76 machine. Aaron Smith just now passing the halfway point on the racetrack. Now going to be looking to charge his way through the final few turns after this long straightaway. And after this, it will be 7 wins for Aaron Smith in the number 70 machine. Checkered flag is out. There goes Aaron Smith. Across the line, he takes home the win here for the Virginia 200. Now as the rest of the field makes their way through the final bits of the track, completing their final laps here, and coming across the line for their positions. Howie Briss, our championship leader at this point in the race, sitting in second place. Coming down the final, well, the long straightaway here, not the final straight. But once he comes across the line, that'll bring home a second place finish for himself. Yet another podium to add on to his career here, or well, for his season here. 3 poles to his name already. It'll be his 4th one of the season, with only 1 win to the 97 cars named thus far this season. So, I mean, Howie Briss doing an excellent job maintaining this lead thus far. So great work from Howie here in tonight's race, as well as Nicholas Lovell, who was trailing behind, or well, battling with Howie Briss for quite some time. Able to keep himself up here in the top 3 as he's going to cross the line now and take home 3rd place. Benny Hogan going to be looking to take it home across the line in 4th place here as he's waved the checkered flag as he comes across the line. Charles Jurek there, possibly a little bit of a moment there as the rest of the field continuing to make their way around the racetrack. We're going to go ahead and get our post-race results up on our screen and get ourselves ready for our post-race interviews. So, the first driver that we are going to have up in the booth here is going to be Nicholas Lovell, taking home third place here tonight. Nicholas, sir, do you have a read?
Howdy.
How are you doing, sir, after a phenomenal run here in the 37 machine? I mean, Nick, you were duking it out there with Howie for so long, and you had a little bit of a slip up there. I can't remember what turn it was or what lap it was, but, you found yourself with almost 9-10 seconds of a gap between Howie Briss. I mean, once that happened, what was kind of going through your head at that point? I know that we had a smaller field than we're normally used to here for VRL, but, I mean, it's a road course, it's a big road course, and it's a tough one at that. I mean, kind of walk me through, battling it out with Howie as well as just your night in general here at VIR.
Well, let me tell you something. At road courses, two things are going to happen for me. I'm going to burn my tires off, and I'm going to blow at least 3 corners every 10 or 15 minutes. So, yeah, I stuck with that trend here tonight. Got a third, though. I'll take it. But, yeah, that's me and Howard talking about it. I probably had the speed to run with him, but if I ever find a road course besides Watkins Glen I could be consistent at, it'd probably be pretty dangerous. But I don't know if that's going to happen.
Well, I mean, you're sitting up here still in that second place spot in the championship. I mean, you're probably, with how consistently you and Howie have been running, it seems like it's going to come down to the wire between you two for the championship. I mean, how are you feeling right now? Excuse me. At this point in the season, and knowing that there's only 16 races left, 15?
Something like that, yeah. I'm going to have to get Howie at a track he's not expecting. I'm going to have to beat him somewhere that he usually beats me. That's what's going to have to happen. Or he's going to have a bad race, but he usually doesn't have bad races. He is incredibly consistent. So, I didn't expect to get third here. I just bought the track yesterday, or Friday. It's been recent. Never been here before. So if I can keep making that happen, you never know.
Well, I mean, I love to see it. This was a really, really solid race. I mean, again, with the number of drivers that we have, it's kind of tough to have that side-by-side racing throughout the whole thing. But either way, we still had a lot of really good action here throughout the field, and able to see yourself take home another podium here in the season. So, Nicholas, before I let you go and celebrate tonight, is there anyone watching the broadcast at home or in the pit crew that you want to shout out and thank for your win here, or for your podium here tonight?
I hope nobody was watching me blow those corners. No, but it's good talking to you, dude. I hope I'll see you again next week.
Well, unfortunately, I won't be here next week. My good friend and colleague, James East, will be here broadcasting the show for you guys.
Oh, that's sad.
Well, I'll look forward to seeing you guys the week after. And, Nicholas, good luck to you next week. I forget where you guys are. Dover, that's where you guys are going.
So all I got to do is not knock the turn 4 wall down there, and I should be okay.
Well, good luck to you there, Nicholas, and hopefully get to see yourself back up in the booth when I happen to see you again next time.
All right, man. Take it easy.
You as well. Have a good one. All right, folks, that is Nicholas Lovell out of the booth here in the number 37 machine. Up next, Howie Briss, the number 97 car, the current championship leader, as it has been for quite some time now. But Howie, you were duking it out there with Nicholas for quite some time, and I mean, I got to ask you right out of the gate, how difficult was it? I mean, just keeping the racing together like that, like you guys were, just lap after lap, turn after turn. I know you guys kind of exchanged positions at one point after pit stops, but I mean, it just seems like you guys were just neck and neck for probably 3/4 of the race. I mean, walk me through your night here tonight.
Well, I didn't think I was going to do this well because I've never run this track before. I bought it just for this race. So I didn't think I was going to finish second, but I'll take it. So, but yeah, me and Lovell, we were kind of equal on pace. I mean, I didn't really make any big mistakes whatsoever, but Lovell he's a good driver, but he just kind of steps on it a bit and just crosses over the line. That's how I was able to just get it done. So
absolutely. Well, I was talking with Nicholas, and I was talking about the championship a little bit and how I was saying it was going to come down to the wire, I feel, towards the latter part of the season. Now, he also mentioned that he was going to have to catch you possibly on a track that you're not maybe so confident on, or that you are going to have a bad race, but that you are also a very consistent driver here in the series, which is true. You are one of the most consistent drivers here in the series. Now, with that little bit of a subtle challenge here, Howie, I wouldn't really call it a challenge, but knowing that, yourself and Nicholas, I'm not sure what the points will be after tonight, but just 80 points separating you two. I mean, how's that feel having this kind of battle for the championship this early on in the season? I mean, it's already halfway, but you get my point.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if Lovell's going to beat me because pretty much I'm looking at the calendar right now. I think Daytona. Did we go to Talladega? Yes, we do. Those are tracks that I may or may not do good. It's always a wild card race. Coda, that's a question mark. Long Beach, I have a feeling he might get me there, but that's a road course. So, but yeah, I sort of have a feeling that it's going to come down to the wire, but I don't want to get my hopes up just yet because we still got a long way to go.
Yeah, that we do. We're just over that halfway point in the season. And yeah, like you said, it is still a long season left to go. And there's still plenty of opportunities for things to happen and things to change up here. So, I mean, with that in mind, Howie, you have done a phenomenal job this season, able to tack on another podium to your season thus far. Before I let you go here and celebrate tonight, is there anyone at home watching the broadcast in the pit crew that you want to shout out and thank for your win here tonight, or your podium tonight?
I wish it was a win, but grandmother, granddad, they're upstairs watching it. They're probably happy that I got second. And Stephanie, she's watching on the West Coast. Mom and dad. Joe Thomas, he takes me racing almost every week. I hope I'm not missing anybody, but everyone that supports the 97 team, we're going to keep fighting hard all the way to the end.
Absolutely. Well, great job from you here tonight, Howie, and I look forward to seeing you, not next week, as I will be having a substitute in for myself next week, but I will see you the following week at, I already lost where it was going to be.
New Hampshire.
New Hampshire. There we go. Perfect. Well, thank you, Howie, and I look forward to seeing you in a couple weeks.
Yeah, I'll hope to see you soon.
Absolutely, Howie. You have a great night, and good luck to you next week at Dover.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Absolutely. Have a good one.
Yeah, you too.
Alrighty, folks, Howie Briss out of the booth here in the number 97 car. Last and certainly not going to be least here, Aaron Smith, the number 70 car, taking home yet another win here in the Velocity Racing League Cup Series. And this is going to be your second win streak of the season here, Aaron. Back-to-back three-time wins in a row already in the 2022 season. Aaron, how are you feeling right now, man?
Pretty tired. That was a long one. I didn't think it was going to last that long, but yeah, James put up a pretty good fight there in the early stages. It was unfortunate that he ended up wiping out in that tire barrier going to the pine tree, but overall it was a pretty fun race.
Yeah, I gotta say, I mean, when you when you're looking at almost a 2-second gap separating yourself, well, it looks like a minute and a half separating yourself in second place. I mean, it kind of almost just feels like you're just having a casual drive around the racetrack. But Aaron, I mean, it seems like every time we come to these road courses, it's always just that yellow 70 machine just leading the field, just clicking laps and doing an impressive job here. I mean, so Aaron, have you raced here before? Have you put practice time in here before, or is it just kind of one of those tracks where it's just you buy it and you send it?
Yeah, I've raced here in the stock cars before, but it was around the beginning of 2020 when everything first started with the whole pandemic and all that. When Dinner with Racers was doing a league with the Cup cars here, and it was a pretty fun race. I went direct out of that one, but I learned a lot, and fortunately I was able to use some of that tonight.
Well, able to use some of that and take home 7 wins here in the season, and we're only just over halfway here in the season thus far, and there's still plenty of road courses left, plenty of racing to be had. Now, Aaron, with another win here to add on to your stats here, I mean, how are you feeling going into Dover? And then, I mean, how are you feeling going into Watkins Glen, our next road course?
I'm looking forward to Dover. If we get a good field there, it should be a really fun race. I'm usually pretty quick there in any of the stock cars I take there, but it should be interesting to see how that plays out. And as for Watkins Glen, we're running the boot, and I'm looking forward to that as well. It should definitely be fun. It'll be a lot closer since everyone's driven at Watkins Glen at some point, so should be a good set of races coming up.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. Definitely a lot of intense action to catch here on Velocity Racing League. But Aaron, before I let you go here and celebrate your win here tonight, is there anyone watching the broadcast at home in the pit crew that you want to shout out and thank for your success here tonight?
Yeah, I'd like to thank everybody at the Velocity Racing League for putting this show on, and all the folks who showed up to the race and in the chat there watching this thing go down, and y'all for broadcasting, all the folks for watching again, and looking forward to getting back at it next week.
Absolutely. Well, Aaron, thank you for joining me up here in the booth here tonight. Congratulations once again on your win, and I won't see you next week as I'll be moving and getting myself settled into my new place. But my good friend, colleague James East will be here, and hopefully we'll get to see you in the booth next week at Dover.
All right, thank you.
Absolutely. Have a great night, Aaron. Alrighty, folks. Aaron Smith out of the booth here tonight. That is going to wrap up our post-race interviews here at Virginia International Raceway for the Virginia 200 with Velocity Racing League for the 2022 Cup Series. My name is Mason Heimbaugh with Team Goon Squad bringing you the action here tonight. Thank you all for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Catch all the action that we have here on Team Goon Squad 7 days a week. Thank you all once again for watching, and I will catch you all next week, same time, same place, here for the Velocity Racing League Cup Series. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time.